Or like, that close to, like, I mean, they got jets chasing around each other in the sky, and navies doing displays of force. I mean, and then of course we got Kim Il-jong Jr., you know, who's doing nuclear missile displays. Like, I mean, you know, and they are openly saying, okay, you know what, these nuclear missiles, they're aiming for America. Okay, they're aiming for the United States. That's what they're training for openly. They're not even saying, oh, we're just doing this, for defense, just in case the South Korea, decides to come after us. No, they're saying we're never gonna, never mind South Korea. We're gonna aim for the States. Can they reach? I doubt it, but you know. But they're working on it. That's the problem. This is called an arms race, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. At some point, when do people around here say, hey, you know what? The people in power are not rational. They are not even close to rational. They are nut jobs. We can understand the nut jobs over there. How about we just leave them alone? Pull all our guys out of there. Never mind those foreign interest oil things. Screw them. It's not worth it. Bring all our guys home. Reduce our military budget, foreign budget, and increase our submarine fleets. Okay? Increase our anti-missile shields. Okay? Control our immigration from a point of who is coming into our country. Okay? And work on that stuff. That will save a country a lot better. As far as the people there, how about this? How about we work out some trade deals? How about, instead of having sanctions against you, if you get rid of your nuclear program, we'll give you food and medicine. Now, there's another thing that's been a big wild card of Iran that people have put in, is that, like some of the people that want the second coming of Christ to happen, for myself, like, again, I'm not really a religious person. I look at all religions about the same way. If there's some good advice in there, I'll take it. But if not, I'll think for myself. But it's not about what you should believe. But on the other hand, it is kind of about what you should believe. Again, sane, rational people with their fingers on the button. There are people that believe the second coming of Christ, everybody will be saved. Okay? The problem is I don't want that to ever happen, even if it was true, because that means a lot of people have to die in a very massive holocaustic war. Okay? So I don't want that. But on the other hand, in Islam, there's the 12th Ayatollah or something like that. I don't know enough about it to be, about 12th or 13th Ayatollah, I don't know. On his arrival, guess what? 72 versions or something like that. So they have incentive to die. Yeah, so I can understand what's going on from the Israeli point of view, that they don't like Islam. I can get it. But on the other hand, I'm like, okay, well, maybe you can reach the moderates to a point, but if the moderates aren't stepping up to the plate to stop these madmen, then either you leave them alone or you're going to have to wipe them out. I mean, as harsh as that sounds, that's what it's going to end up to anyway. I'm not advocating for that. I would rather have a peaceful resolve and everybody just kind of go about their business, but that's not what's happening. I mean, the entire Middle East is in a uproar. We're on the brink of nuclear war. It'll be a trigger type of event that we won't see coming. They could be one day, one warship just happens to be too close to another warship, do a display of force, and they actually hit each other. And then, bang, war. It nearly happened with the Kursk. I mean, if that would have been two warships on the surface, we would have been all dead. Fortunately, it was submarines under the water, and not everybody seen what took place, but if they would have saw what took place, it would have instantly led to a war. At least they didn't see it, because if they would have seen it, it would have happened. The Kursk was a submarine that was sunk by a U.S. submarine, which was believed to be sunk by a Mark 48 torpedo, in defense of another submarine that crashed into it. A French submarine crashed into it, and it was crippled, and it sounded like the Kursk was opening its torpedo bay doors because maybe possibly it thought it was being attacked. I mean, you're in a submarine, you got to make decisions on what you hear. Yeah, they have some thermal imaging and stuff like that, but underwater you can only see so far. You know what I mean? So you got the U.S. ship here, torpedoes, it's at a do or die moment. Either you fire that torpedo or they die. So you protect your ally, or do you, let him fire, and then two submarines get sunk, So that's what happened under there. Put that scenario on top of the water for the whole world to see. Now, you say, yeah, but that'll never happen. Okay. How close are the warships, U.S. warships, to Russian warships right now? Have you not been listening? And again, with these Ice Clan or whatever new missiles that are in Syria, which are being dropped off by the Russians, and the Russians are dropping this stuff off left, right, and center, even though the Russians said they weren't going to intervene in Syria, but they said, they've already warned Obama, they warned Bush, they said, look, we're going to defend ourselves. They've been gearing up for it. Everybody's gearing up for it. North Korea has been saying, get ready for nuclear war. Get ready for it. Nuclear war. You know, Pakistan and India and Iran are saying, get ready for nuclear war. You know, I don't know, I'm just going to, on a hunch, say, you know, get ready for nuclear war. Yeah. So, you know, people ask things, well, why do you need more relaxed gun laws and an AR-15? Well, now's when you want to have one. Personally, I'd rather have an FNFAL, but, you know, I'll take something over nothing, you know. So, anyway, that's the world we're living in right now. Now, some people might say, you racist bastard, you alluded to genocide and stuff like that. What's going to happen anyway? You know, if anybody that's been following my channel for any length of time, you probably know what kind of person I am. And again, I don't advocate violence against anybody, but I do live in a real world. I know how this is going to play out. You think all those freedom fighters in Mali are going to seize the day? No. It's the next Vietnam. You know, in fact, Vietnam is now, you know, probably second to the Iraq War. So it's the next Iraq War. You know, we're over 10 years there now. You know, Canadians went in 2002. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was 2002 when we went in there. You know, in Afghanistan anyway, not Iraq. But, you know, it's, you know, Mali is just happening because of blowback. And, you know, the Obama administration can't understand blowback. You know, Ron Paul says it best, you know, that's what all these killings are about, is blowback. You know, they've taken all the money from people. They've taken their land. You know, they've drunk strike the hell out of them. There are no more moderates over there. You know, you've bred jihadists. What do you expect's going to happen? So the only thing I can say is just leave them alone or wipe them out. You know, if you're going to do that propaganda thing, you might as well just wipe them out. You know, show yourself for who you are. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, geez. You know, what I'd rather have is that, you know what, okay, I know if you pulled out all these peacekeepers and got out of the UN, and yes, I do understand a lot of people would die. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about that. Anyway, the question is the people that pull out, if you take out all the NATO guys, all that, guaranteed, at least we don't get sucked into it. You know, now, saying, yeah, but if you got out of there, they would have a nuclear weapon so fast, and da-da-da-da. If they had one, they would have used it by now. You know, if they had it, they would have used it by now. That's what my same thing I said about Saddam. He was arrogant enough. If he had nuclear weapons, he would have used them. Anybody who's willing to use chemical weapons on people will have no hesitation launching a nuke. You know, you know, no hesitation. Yeah, but a nuke can do it. If you're thinking about it like a sane, rational person, yes, but people that use chemical weapons are not sane, rational people. You know, so that's the world we live in. When I have people in my own town in the middle of nowhere that are starting to get nervous, saying, oh, geez, let's get crazy over there in the North Korea and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, so I'm like, yeah. Now, here's the thing. You know, what? Like I say, I'm not advocating for, you know, a genocide or anything, but you have to understand that is what is coming. So do we send our people in the middle of that? You know, and again, when you arm one side, they get payback. So, you know, well, let's put it to you this way. Let's say they magically disarm all the Muslims over there. And they say, okay, well, the Muslims are too violent, so we're going to give all the Christians guns. Guess what they're going to do? I mean, people have killed your family members. You know what I mean? You know, all the beheadings. I mean, you'd be walking down the street, you might trip over a head over there. You know, like, I mean, literally, they're just, it's sick. It is, you know. But the thing is if we get dragged into it, trust me, we are dragged into it. The big kingpins are going to be Russia and China. With the United States looming on a financial collapse, I mean, we're now looming on a financial, like, there is no turnaround of the economy, and things are happening very quick. So the only thing that's going to happen out of that is, when it collapses, they have to go to war, or else it collapses. Problem is it's unsurvivable. You know, oh yeah, you know, we got our bunkers, we'll just wait 10 years to come up. It's unsurvivable. Like, this is what the, like, like the Obamas, and not just him, like he's a puppet like any of them, but all those people, they just don't get it. Like, it's not survivable. And there's too many madmen at the helm. They're going to put the ships on the rocks. So I can tell you, it's at this point, there's one lifeboat and two people. Okay? And the lifeboat is this. If you get into the lifeboat, you don't get involved into all these ridiculous wars. You stand back, however the other person is going to drown, but somebody gets to live. So it's either you could try to put the two people in the lifeboat that's too small, and you both drowned. That's the way I see it. It's not pretty, it's not fair, it's not nice, but it's the way I see it. I don't want my countrymen dying over there for a war that shouldn't be even happening. Now, that said, if you step back, okay, can Iran then have all the time it wants to make its nuclear weapons? Probably. But that's when you spend the time here creating the defense systems. Create the defense systems here to counter those. The Patriot missile systems they're outdated. And a good idea of what to expect in a nuclear war is this. Over the summer, that whole Hezbollah firing rockets into Israel thing, and Iron Dome. There's a perfect example why we don't want to go to a nuclear war. Iron Dome shot down probably something like 400 of the 1,800 to 1,000 missiles, or how many. I can't give you the exact number, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. So it had a very good ratio of knocking down missiles. But only one warhead has to get through in your area. That's it. Consider the multitude of nukes out there that Russia has and China has. It's unsurvivable. 20 warheads per missile. Each program to hit a certain area. They don't have to be accurate. They just have to make a big bang. They might get one. They might get 400. They might get 4,000 of them. But I can guarantee you, one has to get through to have a catastrophe. 10 get through. It's a nuclear nightmare. 50 get through. It's extinction. Extinction for everybody on the planet. That is what we're facing. And we're facing it to try to spread democracy. So, the lifeboat's here. Do we go to thermonuclear war to spread democracy to people who don't want it? Or do we say, sorry, yes, we understand the little people are going to get killed, but we're getting out of it. You guys work it out for yourselves. I don't know what else to tell you. So if that makes me a bad person, I guess it does. The only thing I can say is tell them to use diplomacy. They've been fighting each other for thousands of years. They're not going to stop. So if it makes me a racist, a bigot, and all that stuff, I can accept that, as long as I'm alive and my family's alive. So, yeah, if you're a Canadian, call your politicians and stuff like that and tell them we don't want any intervention in Mali. Get out of there. Just get out of there. Because what it's going to lead to is just... Anyway, tell me what you guys think. So the next thing that's going on, of course, China and Japan are like, that close to they got jets chasing around each other in the sky, and navies doing displays of force. It's, and then of course we got Kim Il-jong Jr., who's doing nuclear missile displays, and they are openly saying, okay, these nuclear missiles, they're aiming for America, okay? They're aiming for the United States. That's what they're training for, openly. They're not even saying, we're just doing this, for defense, just in case the, South Korea, decides to come after us. No, they're saying we're never going to, never mind South Korea, we're going to aim for the States. Can they reach? I doubt it, but, but they're working on it. That's the problem. This is called an arms race, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. At some point, when do people around here say, hey, what? The people in power are not rational. They are not even close to rational. They are nut jobs. We can understand the nut jobs over there. How about we just leave them alone? Pull all our guys out of there. Never mind those foreign interest oil things. Screw them. It's not worth it. Bring all our guys home. Reduce our military budget, foreign budget, and increase our submarine fleets. Okay? Increase our anti-missile shields. Okay? Control our immigration from a point of who is coming into our country. Okay? And work on that stuff. That will save a country a lot better. As far as the people there, how about this? How about we work out some trade deals? How about, instead of having sanctions against you, if you get rid of your nuclear program, we'll give you food and medicine. Now, there's another thing that's been a big wild card of Iran that people have put in is that, like